just took and just closed. I managed to close this trade right now, basically minutes ago, and I'll show you how it all worked out, basically in my favor, and why I believe it actually worked out in my favor, and how you should actually play these trades. I will actually open up the Telegram chat. You see everything live, um, or it might be easier if I open up Twitter just to show you that I closed the trade first, and then I'll show you what happened. So I made this tweet here, took profit on Ninja, told you. And actually managed to buy dip as well a few times. I don't encourage you to do that, but sometimes you can. It really depends on your risk parameters. We'll talk about risk management in a little bit, but I want to have this example of why you shouldn't risk a lot of money. So I entered this token, which was probably not the best probability trade. Why wasn't it the best probability trade? If you've already went and you understand how to identify environment and stuff like that, you know that this was a perfect trade. This was a perfect trade. Third time, perfect trade, right? We have a few of these that were good, right? This was also good right here because we have the buying pressure for the retest. But it was actually very late, and I opened up, I believe it was the 4 hour chart. This is a very old trade, and I basically sold this, right? And it was like, okay, I'll buy here. That was not very smart because normally here is your first retest, second retest. After the third or fourth one, you don't need to stay and respect. Price is less likely to respect the area because everyone that wanted to get filled in, that had alerts, that is aware, that is smart money, that understands how prices move, will basically be in and out. So I went in. It was still a good trade on the 15-minute chart, I understand, but you gotta when you didn't take the perfect trade. But I had high conviction. I knew this was a good scalp where I would make money. So basically sold this, I believe it dipped. So I saw this as an opportunity to make a quick scalp. And just like I did, I managed to get this 23% right here to this level. How did I manage to do that? And I actually managed to buy in here, I believe it was 6 something. So I actually made a little bit more money, but I stayed. That's all I had to do. And it took around a day and a half to play out. But it did play out in the end. It did play out. So that's why you gotta risk very little. Because then, if you have 5 or 10 of these trades, it doesn't matter. You just have the alerts, you set and forget. Sometimes to get this play, it won't happen instantly. Sometimes it can take 5 days, but it's still worth it for this amount of percentage. Why wouldn't I risk this? Why wouldn't I wait? So we'll go to the risk management section, and by so far you should be only paper trading, but you slowly after the first few weeks go by and you are backtesting these trades, your paper trading like we explained in other lessons, you might start to want to risk. How will you risk and what would your risk parameters be? We'll talk about that in next course.